You don't just overthink. You live in your head like it's the only safe place left. Your body moves through the day, but it feels more like a vehicle than a home. You walk down the street and barely notice the buildings, the trees, the sky. You're somewhere else entirely, replaying conversations, planning future disasters, writing invisible scripts for moments that haven't even happened. Cut to you sitting on the bus or in the back of a car, staring out the window. From the outside, you look calm, maybe a little tired. Inside, your thoughts are racing. Why did I say that? What did they mean by that message? What if I fail? What if they leave? What if I never figure any of this out? You eat meals you barely taste. Fork to mouth, scroll, think, worry. You get to the end of the plate and realize you don't remember the flavor, only the feeling of being slightly somewhere else while you were eating. Your body sends signals like a person knocking on a locked door. Headaches. Tight shoulders. A stomach that clenches before certain meetings, or when a name lights up your phone. You register the discomfort just enough to be annoyed by it, then go straight back into analysis mode. What's wrong with me? Why am I like this? At night, you lie in bed, lights off, phone face down, but your mind is still lit up like a city. You rerun the day, then the week, then your whole life. You imagine every possible outcome of every possible choice, as if enough thinking could finally save you from uncertainty. Your body is exhausted, but your mind doesn't believe it's allowed to rest. So you dissociate in socially acceptable ways. Zoning out in front of a screen, scrolling long past the point of interest, drifting off mid-conversation while nodding at the right moments. It doesn't feel dramatic enough to call it dissociation. It just feels like being spaced out in your head, not really here. For years now, your mind has been running the show, analyzing, predicting, planning, protecting. While your body follows along quietly, like a background character in a story that was supposed to be about you. This didn't start because you're naturally analytical. It started because, at some point, your body stopped feeling like a safe place to be. Maybe you remember growing up in a house where emotions were a lot. Voices too loud, mood swinging quickly, doors slamming, tears that never really got comforted. Your chest would tighten, your heart race, your face get hot, all those physical reactions of a small body in a big storm. Cut to little you, sitting on your bed after hearing an argument in the next room. You stare at the patterns on the wall or the ceiling and think, if I can just figure out what I did wrong, or what I need to do better, maybe this won't happen again. Your mind starts working overtime. Your body stays tense and still. Or maybe nobody yelled. Maybe everything was quiet. Too quiet. Affection was rare, conversations stayed on the surface, everyone seemed far away even when they were right there. You learned not to expect much comfort when you were scared or sad. Your body would ache for contact, for soothing, and nothing really came. So the only place left to go was into your head. You lay in the dark as a child, thinking instead of feeling. Building stories, explanations, fantasies. You watched yourself from the outside, like a character in a book. That small act, stepping outside of your own sensations, was a kind of dissociation, leaving your body because your feelings had nowhere safe to land. Your nervous system was experimenting with its own attachment style, long before you heard those words. If being fully here in your body meant feeling too much, fear, loneliness, shame, then your system decided. It's safer to live up top. In thoughts. In analysis. In control. Cut to teenager you, sitting in class, staring at the board but living inside an inner monologue about friendships, family, your future. Your leg bounces under the desk. Your jaw is tight. No one notices that you're not really present in the room, you're off somewhere trying to think your way into safety. As you grew older, the pattern just refined itself. You became the reflective one, the overthinker, the calm observer. People admired your insight, your self-awareness. They didn't see that most of that awareness never made it down into your body, where it would actually be felt. Being in your head became your way of not drowning in everything you carried. It was the one place where you thought you had a little bit of control, even if it cost you the simple experience of actually inhabiting your own life. And this is where something begins to change, not because you force it, but because you finally notice the cost of living only in your head. One day, you catch yourself mid-spiral. You're at your desk, eyes on the screen, mind replaying a conversation for the 10th time. Suddenly you realize you haven't actually seen the room you're in for hours. Your neck aches. Your jaw is clenched. Your chest feels tight. For a brief second, instead of going further into the story, your attention drops a few inches, to the weight of your body on the chair, to your feet on the floor. You don't call it grounding. You don't call it anything. You just notice, I'm here. In this chair. Right now. It's such a small moment that no one else would see it, but inside, a line has moved, your thoughts are no longer the only reality. Your body is not just background noise. It's part of the scene again. Another evening, you're in the shower, mind racing through future disasters. On autopilot, you reach for the shampoo, then feel the temperature of the water, the pressure on your shoulders. For half a second, you're actually in the water, not just under it. You feel how tired you are, not as an idea, but as heaviness in your muscles. This is what it looks like when dissociation starts to loosen. Not a dramatic breakdown, not a sudden awakening, but thin, flickering moments where your awareness lands in your body and stays just long enough to be felt. You still overthink. You still drift away into analysis, especially when something hurts. But now there's a part of you that notices the escape as it's happening. You catch yourself leaving. You feel the lift-off, mind taking flight, body going distant. Sometimes you gently come back. To the weight of your hand on the bedsheet at night. To the rhythm of your steps on the pavement. To the sound of your own breathing in a quiet room. Not as a technique. As a way of saying, without words, you're allowed to live here, too. You don't stop being reflective or thoughtful. You don't become someone who never dissociates. But slowly, thinking loses its job as your only form of protection. And one day, maybe in a small, unremarkable moment, sunlight on the floor, a warm mug between your hands, your shoulders finally dropping a little, you notice something you haven't felt in a long time. Your mind is still with you. But it isn't the only one holding your life anymore. Your body has stopped being just a vehicle for your thoughts. And started to feel, quietly, like a place you're allowed to come home to.